I am Dr. Rebecca Sloan, a urologist and evidence-based men's vitality specialist. There is a dangerous myth circulating among men over the age of 50. It is the belief that waking up without a morning erection is simply a natural, harmless consequence of getting older. You are told to expect it, to laugh it off, and to accept that your prime biological years are behind you. As a clinician, I need to tell you that this acceptance is a fatal error for your longevity and your intimate life. The sudden or gradual cessation of morning rigidity is not a benign sign of aging. It is an urgent, flashing biological alarm. When you stop waking up with that involuntary firmness, your body is actively trying to warn you that 3 silent progressive diseases are systematically dismantling your vascular network and killing your potency from the inside out. Before we break down exactly what these 3 insidious conditions are and how they are destroying your nocturnal repair cycles, a brief private advisory. If you are a man in your 40s, 50s, or beyond who has noticed your morning erections vanishing, resulting in unpredictable performance and a frustrating loss of spontaneous firmness, you do not have to accept this as your new normal. I have recorded a restricted, unlisted clinical presentation detailing the exact protocol to rehabilitate your vascular system, bypass these silent diseases, and restore your foundational firmness. You can access it right now via the secure link in the pinned comment below. To understand why these 3 diseases are so destructive, you first must understand what a morning erection actually is. Nocturnal penile tumescence, NPT, has absolutely nothing to do with sexual arousal or morning libido. It is an involuntary autonomic stress test conducted by your nervous system while you sleep. During the REM cycles of your sleep, your brain shifts away from the sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight stress mode, and allows the parasympathetic nervous system to take dominance. This shift triggers a massive release of nitric oxide into your bloodstream, which relaxes the smooth muscle tissue of the penis and floods the microscopic vasculature with highly oxygenated blood. This process is a required biological maintenance cycle. It keeps the corporal tissue elastic, healthy, and responsive. When you stop experiencing this morning rigidity, it means this nocturnal repair cycle has been blocked. And in men over 50, this blockade is almost always caused by 1 or more of 3 silent diseases that are quietly operating beneath the surface, years before they show up on a standard physical exam. The first silent disease killing your potency is advanced endothelial dysfunction, which is the precursor to systemic atherosclerosis. The blood vessels in your penis are incredibly narrow, only about 1 to 2 millimeters in diameter. By comparison, the coronary arteries feeding your heart are 3 to 4 millimeters wide. Because the penile arteries are so much smaller, they are the absolute first vessels in your entire body to become clogged, stiffened, or damaged by plaque accumulation and endothelial inflammation. When the endothelium, the ultra-thin inner lining of your blood vessels, becomes damaged, it loses its ability to produce nitric oxide. Without sufficient nitric oxide, your blood vessels physically cannot dilate enough to allow the intense rush of blood required for an erection, neither during sleep nor during intimacy. The loss of morning wood is widely recognized in urology and cardiology as the canary in the coal mine. Clinical data shows that the cessation of nocturnal tumescence often precedes a major cardiovascular event, like a heart attack or stroke, by 3 to 5 years. By dismissing the loss of morning firmness as just aging, millions of men are ignoring the earliest, most accurate warning sign of severe arterial disease. The second silent disease, aggressively destroying your morning rigidity, is subclinical insulin resistance. Most men believe that unless their doctor tells them they are a type 2 diabetic, their blood sugar is fine. This is a massive clinical blind spot. Long before your fasting glucose reaches diabetic levels, you can suffer from insulin resistance, where your body requires massive surges of insulin to force glucose into your cells. This chronic, low-grade elevation of blood sugar acts like microscopic shards of glass tearing through your vascular system. It causes a process called glycation, where sugar molecules bind to proteins and fats in your bloodstream, creating advanced glycation end products, AGEs. These AGEs directly attack and stiffen the smooth muscle tissue in your penis, making it physically impossible for the tissue to expand and trap blood. Furthermore, insulin resistance causes microvascular neuropathy. It slowly destroys the delicate pudendal nerve endings that run from your pelvis to your brain. If these nerves are damaged by elevated blood sugar, your brain cannot send the parasympathetic signals required to trigger an erection during REM sleep. Your hardware might still be intact, but the electrical wiring required to turn it on has been corroded by silent insulin resistance. Because the traditional medical system is designed to treat acute symptoms rather than reverse these foundational metabolic and vascular dysfunctions, most men are simply handed a prescription for a blue pill and sent on their way. But PDE5 inhibitors do not cure endothelial dysfunction, and they cannot fix neuropathy. They merely force a temporary blood flow response while the underlying diseases continue to worsen. To actually restore your natural morning firmness and protect your long-term vitality, you need a comprehensive, evidence-based protocol that addresses the root cause of the vascular damage. I have detailed exactly how to implement this protocol in a private, unlisted masterclass. This video contains the intensive clinical interventions that I cannot responsibly summarize in a standard YouTube video. I have left the link to this private presentation in the pinned comment below for you to watch now. If you are still watching, you need to understand the third silent disease, subclinical hypogonadism coupled with SHBG dominance. As men pass the age of 50, it is not just that total testosterone slowly declines. It is what happens to the testosterone you have left. Due to chronic stress, poor sleep architecture, and increases in visceral belly fat, a highly destructive enzyme called aromatase becomes overly active. Aromatase literally steals your remaining testosterone and converts it into estrogen. Simultaneously, your liver begins producing higher levels of a protein called sex hormone binding globulin, SHBG. SHBG binds tightly to your free testosterone, rendering it completely useless to your body. So, even if your total testosterone looks normal, on a basic blood test, your free bioavailable testosterone is completely suppressed. Why does this kill morning wood? Because the nocturnal erection cycle is heavily dependent on the correct ratio of free testosterone to estrogen. When this ratio is inverted, your brain stops producing the nighttime surge of luteinizing hormone, LH, required to signal your testes to produce testosterone while you sleep. The entire endocrine feedback loop collapses. Without that hormonal architecture functioning optimally in the background, the mechanical erection during REM sleep physically cannot trigger. Understanding the severity of these three silent diseases, endothelial dysfunction, insulin resistance, and subclinical hypogonadism, is the dividing line between men who passively lose their vitality and men who proactively reclaim it. The absence of your morning erection is not a joke. It is a profound clinical indicator that your vascular system, your metabolic health, and your hormonal balance are under severe biological siege. Ignoring it because of misplaced pride or flawed assumptions about the aging process only guarantees that the underlying damage will become permanent. You cannot fix these compounding biological failures by simply trying to sleep more or taking an over-the-counter herbal supplement. Reversing years of endothelial damage, recalibrating your insulin sensitivity, and freeing up your bound testosterone requires a specific, sequenced, and clinically sound approach. The mechanics of your vascular and hormonal systems require precise, targeted interventions. Because of the depth of this clinical information, and the overwhelming demand from men who are finally realizing that their loss of firmness is a systemic medical issue rather than a psychological one. I cannot guarantee how long I will be able to keep my comprehensive protocol accessible in the private masterclass. The biological window for easy vascular restoration does not stay open forever, and neither will that presentation. You owe it to your health, your longevity, and your partner to fix the root cause of this decline. Go to the pinned comment and watch that private video right now before I am forced to take it down. I will see you there. What is one symptom you've brushed off as just getting older that you now realize might be connected to your vascular or hormonal health? Tell me in the comments below.